Excursion is this is going to be the walkthrough of the 2000 Ford Excursion V10. I'm going to show everyone all the modifications we've done to the rig, exactly where it stands right now, how we like it, some pros, some cons of what we've done to it. I'm going to run through the suspension components that we've added, the rear Overland camping box and the drawers system. Going to walk through how we've set up the interior to help us with kind of camping and making life just a little more simpler when we go off-road and get to the campsite. So yeah, I'm going to just go over all the modifications that we've done to the truck since we've gotten it. We got it about 2 years ago. It's kind of just an ongoing project for me. Just fixing it up, making it better. Every time we go do something, or every weekend we come up with a new idea and try to make it reality. This is what the truck looks like right now. It's coming far away from when we first got it. When we first got it, it was pretty much stock. It had some F250 chrome wheels on it, which were hideous. So it's getting better. It's a little dirty right now, a little dusty. So pardon that, but of course it should be dusty, right? So the first thing I'm gonna go over is the suspension, what we've done so far. So we upgraded the front leaf springs. Those are X code off an F250. You can kind of see them in here. There they are. They have a higher weight rating, and the truck, with all the additional pieces and components, it started to weigh quite a bit. And the old ones were 20 years old. It's time to replace them. They were sagging pretty bad. So we upgraded those. I put new shocks on. They're not doing the job. Those are going to be replaced in the next 3 weeks here. I'm going to do a dual shock system with Bilstein 5100s. These are just not enough currently when you go off-road. So the next thing we upgraded, that's on both sides obviously. We have not upgraded the rear leaf springs. Those are being done. I was going to do those myself, but the shop is 250 bucks. So it saves me a day. Next up is the tire and wheel set. We ended up going with a 35 by 12.5 Nitto Ridge Grappler. The tires, these are amazing. I recommend them to anyone looking to do an overland vehicle. They're fantastic on the highway. They're quiet. They're fantastic off-road. You just deflate them a little bit and you can go pretty much anywhere. I mean, the truck weighs 10,000 pounds and we have not gotten stuck. We've brought it to some pretty interesting spots. Sandy roads, sandy dunes. The sand was my biggest concern, and I handled it like a champ. So yeah, the wheel set's 16-inch rims. That way you have a lot of room to deflate. Another upgrade I'm looking to do is put a compressor on, an onboard compressor. I think that'd be nice to have. It's not really lifted. There's a 2-inch additional leaf lift right here, but with the X springs, the X leaf springs, it does lift the truck to probably about 4 inches, I'd say, overall. It's about perfect. I haven't needed more ground clearance. I think once you get to like the 6 or 7 range, you just, personally, I think it's a little bit of overkill. Unless you're like really going to Moab, you're throwing 40s on. I don't need them right now. So that's the suspension in the front. In the rear, we still have the old leaf springs. Those are being replaced the next 2 weeks here. I got them in my garage, like I just said. I also put in some airbags. So let me crawl under here and show you guys what the airbags look like. Those are the airbags right there. I'll link. I don't remember where I got them from off the top of my head right now, but I'll link where I got them from. And they're pretty simple to install. They mount right up to the axle and to the frame. So this is really nice to have when I got the truck, because there's still stock leaf springs back here off the stock Excursion. Not really rated for a high amount of weight. When you add all the additional overlanding stuff, it was sagging pretty bad. So I added those last summer. Those are not, some people have like the automatic ones. These are, I bought like the simple ones. They come right back here and you pump them up with a bike pump. I mean, honestly, it's kind of simple. Like, to pump up with a bike pump, it's like 10 pumps and they're at like 40 PSI. You're good. So I like that. It's simpler. I don't have to worry about wiring or anything breaking possibly if it was an automatic. Then we get to the campsite, actually sometimes I've used it to help level the truck, so I could like drop one side and then in the morning just pump it back up. So that's the suspension as it sits right now. Okay, next up is gonna be the rear of the truck. This is where most of the work has been done so far. You can kind of see. The first thing we did was replace the struts, the gas struts, with the off-road one, so the whole rear door lifts up very high now. You can kind of see here, like, it's way above my head, so it's nice. You don't have to worry about smacking your head every time you go open the doors. Okay, so when we open up the truck, this is where things get good. So when you get here, when you open the truck, this is what comes out. You get the whole drawer system, and then it's a double drawer system, so it comes out again. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. So this is what the drawer system looks like. This has been like the best thing. It's actually bolted down to the frame on the other side, right behind the third row seat. The factory bolts kind of align with the box perfectly, so that way you don't, I don't like to put a ton of weight on this, but you should be able to, at least in theory. So what do we have here? This is our whole cooking surface right here. This is the stove, which just sits here. These L brackets hold it in place, that way it doesn't move, it doesn't wobble at all. And then I put just like a little shimmy right here to make sure. I cut into the stove because the gas for the stove was originally here, so it couldn't come out due to the slide. So I kind of cut the stove, bent the pipe, now it comes out right here. And then when you get to camp, you just grab your hose, your propane hose, and the propane lives right here. That's right above like the rear AC unit, and I just cut a little circle in the plastic, and the propane sits right in there, and it's tight enough that it doesn't move, so that worked out really nice. Over here on the left is the whole electrical system that I put in. There's a video on that if you're interested or curious how it all fits. There's a battery mount, battery box, all behind here. There's two 100 amp hour AGM batteries that feed from obviously the alternator, the main battery. So go check that video out. That's a cool one. There's a few, I think, that gets me to the end of the project. So it turned out pretty nice, fit perfectly. You got USBs, you got 12 volts right here. So yeah, there's the USBs, so we use that to charge phones or laptops or whatever you need to. And the switches all control different pieces. So the top one's gonna be, there's a light right here I put. And so that's great because at night when we're camping, it was originally mounted here. You kind of see those two holes I put in, but the light was directly in your eyes. So I ended up moving it to up here. So when you're standing back here, see, you can't see the light, but it's on, and it just illuminates this whole area without like getting directly in your eyes. So great spot to mount a light if anybody's interested. The next one up is going to be this one. These control the side lights right over here, and that's just when the tent is up at night. This is usually where we have like a mat. We'll have a mat out here or something. So yeah, we use those lights just to illuminate the campsite. Honestly, they're pretty bright. You don't need them once your eyes adjust, but if you want them, you have them. If you're trying to get the kids up there or something. Then I got a few open ones right now. These will, guys, I need ideas. If anyone has any ideas of what else I could add to the truck, please let me know, because we have some additional switches that we need to use. Firewood hangs out back here. The cooler that we have sits right here where this Nitro Brew coffee is at right now. Cooler sits right there, and the chairs and tables sit right behind that. Worked out perfectly. I've been researching DC fridges to put in. Just haven't found the quite perfect one yet. That's next spring's project is my guess. Wire that all up next spring. I don't think we need it this year. We seem to be doing just fine with ice packs. The rear doors, because these are kind of cool. A lot of people have questions about these. Work like this. They can stay shut with like a little hook right here. Get the cap, comes out. Got these cables like this, just like that. And then you got yourself a table. This is the sink setup. This could pull out. These are a little tricky to do, but do one like that, and then one like that, and then voila, you got yourself a sink. This pops down, and that's how that works. The last piece of the electrical system would be your water pump right here. And there she is. I don't think I have any I don't think I have that much water in the tank right now, so I don't know if it will pressurize up fully. I drain it after every camping trip, just to have not to have water sitting in the tank for extended periods of time. But yeah, that's kind of, you know, this is something that I dreamt of over the winter time, and super easy to make. The hose runs through right here, and so this is where the hose is drilled into the truck here, through here. I put some duct tape on the hose here just to make sure, because it's hard to file down the metal here. So yeah, and then this hose pulls out, so if you wanted to, I'm gonna close it off, but this pulls out, which is cool. And you got yourself, like, you know, if you wanted to fill up a bucket of water, a 5-gallon bucket, a bike backpack, a camelback, anything like that, it's nice. And then the reason I made these clamps, or kind of, I don't know what you call those, but the reason for that is it's easier to put the hose away, because without that it just folds back into itself. So you kind of see, you kind of just push this back in, and the hose is kind of just makes room back there. It all sits in the door. There we go. There it is. Okay, that's the one door. Perfect. It's a cool little thing. Nice to wash plates and dishes in there after you're done cooking. Next up is the other door. Pretty much exactly the same. Same concept. Just like that. And then I put another wire on this side just for extra stability. These doors are made out of fiberglass, so some people have questioned their strength. They've held up fine. I mean, like, I put all my weight on it and the hinges didn't break, so I figured it was okay. Our daughter sits on here all the time. Works perfect. It adds, you know, when you get to camp, like, you need additional cutting space half the time. You know, you got this spot right here, but when you're like grilling out, you got burgers and bacon and eggs and bagels, whatever. You just need as much room as you possibly get. So why not utilize the space that's just doing nothing before? So this is kind of the rear of the truck, what it looks like. This one is the diesel heater right there. So the diesel heater is a really cool addition to the truck, and this is one of the bigger projects I worked on. Let me hop inside and show you how it all works. Tucked up in there quite nicely. It's easy to get and fill up the diesel. These 3 hoses here connect to hook up to the diesel heater, run through the truck and up to the top where I have a cap, and I'll show you the cap here in a second, and that runs into the tent. But the diesel heater, you have your air intake right here, and then you need an exhaust. So, oh, there are the two AGM batteries are hanging out in there too. I left this open. I thought about closing it off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I needed to. It's fine right now. Thought it might be better to get some air in there, just in case it gets hot or something. So the diesel heater has an exhaust pipe. This exhaust runs right here, down and out through the bottom of the truck right here. Right there. That's where the diesel heater exhausts out to. Yeah, that worked out perfectly. It's quiet and it doesn't kick back up into the tent. You can barely hear it when you're asleep. When you get to camp, that's what this hose is. When you get to camp, this comes out. This is all you gotta do. Take this out, come up here, unscrew this cap, and then cap. If I climb up there, I can open it. Man, at which point. So then you just run into the tent. All right, next I'm gonna show the shower system. This is a shower awning, I guess you call it. It's made by Tough Stuff Overland. It's pretty cool. It mounts right up to your roof rack. Really, really simple to install. And this is a front runner roof rack, if anyone wanted to know. It's off our Jeep that we used for a few years. So it's a little smaller than it needs to be, or than it should be. You can tell those go to the front of the tent, but it's fine. So let's get the shower set up. Pops out this way, and then like this. Now it's a bit windy, so this is gonna be hard to show. I'm not gonna set it all the way up because the storm's rolling in. But so this is what it looks like. You stake those down, and then the shower, this is the hot water heater. So the sink connects right here, the inlet. This is where the propane will come, and that's the propane tank from right over there. You just pull that over here. And then you got your shower hose. And then I got a little thing to connect this right here, and boom, voila, you got yourself a cool little shower. You know, honestly, we don't really shower that often. I think if we went like longer, we would, but on a 3 or 4 day weekend, you don't necessarily need it, and it does use water, and that is a precious resource when you're out and about in the backcountry. But we have it, so if we do wanted to shower, we can, which is cool. And this awning is kind of nice if you end up going to the campground. You know, you can go to the bathroom in here if you're looking for a spot, and you're like right next to other people. It's nice just to stand up and change too. So there's a few uses. Again, tough stuff. Overland, really quality build in my opinion. Came with like everything you needed. It even came with this is kind of funny. It even came with like little lights and a USB plug, so it worked out perfectly because it plugs right into the electrical system, and then you could shower at night and get a beautiful little light going. So really cool. That's the shower setup. And the hot water made by Camp Lux. This is the smallest one they make. It's perfect. Does the job at like the amount of hot water that comes out of this thing in like seconds really is amazing. Yeah, finding the place for this in the truck was hard, and still has not been perfect. So it is a little bigger than I was hoping for. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So that is the shower system. The inside looks like. This is the inside of the truck. I took out one of the bucket seats back here. Reason being is, well, we only have one child right now. No, we have another one on the way, but it just opens it up. So when you come into the truck, it's just like cavernous now because you don't have to hop over a seat. When we camp, we have each family member has their own bin that all their clothes go in. This is the 18-gallon water tank. This used to be on top of the camping box in the rear. I'll show you guys that here in a minute. But I wanted to lower it and also get some more room in the rear. So it fit pretty perfectly right here. The person sitting here, it's not really in their way. Their feet kind of go like right here. Works out. And if the family ever gets to 5, then we'll put the seat back in, and yeah, not a problem. So the truck also has, this is from an F-250. It's an F-250 like jumper seat center. So this is awesome. I mean, like, we use this all the time. Someone could sit right there. It's pretty funny because like it's a huge truck, but half the time we have like friends with us, so like they're sitting up there off-roading with us. It's just a good, you know, it's cool to have everybody next to one another and get a better view off the front anyway. So that's where people sit most of the time. You'll see Cousin Effie in the last video is up there. Yeah, that's the inside. That corner is Gwen's corner. Obviously with all the toys and the books, they just live in the truck at this point. Moving front seat. The guy we bought it from had the front seats reupholstered, so they're in like super awesome shape right now. They look really good, which was nice to have. And then he replaced the headset as well with like a Apple map, the whole shabam up there. So that's cool to have. Ooh. Let's see, we walked through the rear door, we walked through the sink, we walked through the whole camping setup. We walked through the diesel heater, the battery box, the tables, the suspension, the tires, the tow mirrors, the light bar. You know, let's talk about the spare tire. So I got a full-size spare Nitto Ridge Grappler. I have a video showing how I set that up and exactly how I mounted it up there. Because if you notice, there's no roof rack up here, so it sits directly on the metal, on the sheet metal, and then it's clamped down right here, and I have it locked too. This is a precaution. So yeah, go watch that video. It's an interesting one, exactly how it mounts. You know, I ran into a few issues. The sheet metal was popping a little bit, so that design, in theory, while it's great, there's some issues that I'm working on. I'm gonna put like a cross member beam in there or something to just give it some more support. As soon as you hit the big bumps, it's just gonna bump, 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 bump. So whatever, live and learn. Works out cool though. I think last but not least is the tents, and the tent we use is iCamper. This is Gen 1 iCamper. I believe it's called Sky Camp now. I think they renamed it. We got it when it was in Kickstarter years and years ago. Go Google iCamper if you're into like rooftop tents. It's something you've been looking at. These are a little pricey, but like I personally think they're the best ones, hand down. You know, a lot of companies are selling them nowadays, and they're good. They all get the job done, but this one sets up in like 60 seconds. which is something that we were like really keen on. I don't want to be dealing with like zipping and unzipping vinyl cases and stuff like that. So this is a hard shell. You can see it's a hard shell. Pops right up, and then there's another piece that flips out this way, and then the ladder comes out like over here. We love it. It's been great to us. We probably slept like 150 nights in it so far. People complain about the mattress. Honestly, we've had no problem with the mattress. Some people put inflatables, but again, you throw an inflatable and you got more work. Like the whole goal of the truck is like, you want to get to camp, you want to go do the things you're here to do. I don't want to spend time blowing up air mattresses. Like literally we get to camp, iCamper pops out in like 60 seconds. This pops out in 30 seconds and you're like, cool, done. The longest thing is probably like honestly leveling the truck, like getting the blocks out, trying to like figure out the perfect camping spot. But that's part of it, right? It's like, you gotta make sure it's the perfect camping spot. Otherwise, are you even an overlander? Who knows? I think that's it, guys. It's really not much. We put the cool stickers on. If you found the channel, then maybe you've already subscribed. Hey, if you're listening to this, please, I don't want to beg, but like if you could subscribe and click that like button. It's kind of a cool little hobby of ours we're trying to pursue. Gives us something to do, little added activities on the weekends to get all the film in and the shots in, and then work on the truck. So we'll really love it if you could press that subscribe button and hit that like button. Apparently that helps. So yeah, this is it. This is the whole rig. The Ford Excursion, guys. This is one of the best trucks I think ever made, and you could see it. You can see it in the retail value. If you see one for sale, buy one. You will not. You can't go wrong. I mean, you're gonna have to do work to it. Yeah, they're old trucks. This thing is 20 years old, so there's going to be problems. There's going to be things that are breaking, but they don't make anything like this now. Yeah, we love it. It's great. If anybody wants or has any questions, please put them below. Try to get to everything. If you want links to anything, I'll send you where I bought it all. Turned out really cool. I actually don't have much left to do back here. You're doing this yourself and you're watching for ideas, like you're going to experience problems. You can come up with an idea, you'll be like, great, let's roll with it. You know, go for it, try it. If it goes wrong, fix it. You know, you learn from the mistake. The tire on the spare roof is like a great example. Like, I had no idea if that was going to work. You know, it works 80%, I'd say. The other 20%, the sheet metal makes a popping noise. So you gotta fix the problem. The sink, you know, it's about 95%. My biggest problem is that this thing is not tight enough. So I gotta figure this out. But yeah, you know, if you're building one, go for it. Like, you can't go wrong. Anything that your mind can come up with, like, you could build. And then utilize YouTube. If you're watching this, that means you know exactly what you're doing on YouTube, and you're finding the right channels, and just there's so many people out there willing to help and like show you amazing things you could do. So that's the Ford Excursion. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Come along with us on our summer weekend warrior trips. We got a few cool ones coming up. See you next week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Excursioners. Over and out.